Would you believe me if I said I'm in love? Baby, I want you to want me. Okay. Singing is not a gift of mine, but training is a thing. Okay. What's good, everyone? Busy here. You're listening or watching the Legit Podcast. If this podcast, this channel has given you value in any way, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcast or YouTube and follow on Spotify, I believe. Now, I am curating something special for my sisters, and so if you listen or watch till the end, you would get more information about that. Now, what we're doing is taking a scripture or a quote and unpacking it as it relates to my life so it can flow practically into your life, so you can show up in the spaces that you're in, the legit snacks, to be loved, to be seen, to be heard. In one of my lines of work, I have the privilege of hearing people's stories, people from different stages of life, walks of life, different generations. And one thing I have realized is throughout everybody's stories, including mine, I have realized that there is something that is common, which is the yearn to be loved, to be seen, and to be heard. And I believe that heartbreak, going through a divorce, a breakup, can be traumatic, right? It really can alter our psychological, our emotional, our spiritual well-being. And if it doesn't touch all of these things, it sure does touch at least one of them. To be loved. This person does not love me, flaws and all. I can't love them, flaws and all. To be seen, see me for who I am, for what I bring from my heart, and to be heard. My voice matters. There are certain things that matter to me, and I want you to hear them. And so what I wanted to do is bring value and share how I moved on from my divorce. The first thing I want you to know is that while this happened to you, whilst you're going through this thing, it does not define you. It is not who you are. You know, really, it is probably one of the mottos you should live by, that although this is happening to me, this has happened to me, it is not who I am and it does not define me. There are, in summary, 5 things though that I want to take you through on how I got through my divorce, and I hope that it helps. The first thing is don't avoid it. Don't avoid the feelings. Don't put up a facade of I'm strong, I can get through this through other things. And so what it looks like is, the I should have done this, I could have done this, I would have done this. And what we try to do is feed all those thoughts, and it's really not healthy. In one of the episodes, I believe, Letting Go of Someone You Love, I spoke about how I was making decisions that didn't really move me forward in any way. They were not fruitful in any way, but they were just making me feel better momentarily. And so if you think about it, if you do something that makes you feel better for 5 minutes, you still have to sit with the funk. You live with yourself, for the rest of the time. And so while it is not pretty, while it sucks, it really sucks, I know, but it is necessary, right? And it is so worth it at the end. So don't wrestle with it. Don't fill it with, and it's hard, right? But not filling it with things like entertainment or working so hard or sex with the ex, going back to, or drugs or alcohol. It really just masks the pain momentarily, but doesn't do anything long term. And really, you would have to come back to it, right? It just keeps you in a cycle. So that's the first thing. The second thing is one of my favorite things, which is physical activity. Now, personally, I began working out 2015, 2016, and while I loved it at the time, it just has a new meaning right now in the space that I'm in. I remember that sometimes people would tell me, well, when I work out, it makes me feel less stressed, I feel better. And I'm like, what? Like, when you're stressed, you go put more strain on your body and that makes you feel better, really. But I totally understand really what a physical activity does is the endorphins that make you feel better from, from anything else is what is released. And it just clears your head, right? It makes you feeling refreshed. It boosts your well-being, your energy. And so when I'm behind something or I'm tackling something tired or stressed out, what I do is when I do go to the gym, I like to go to the gym and work out. I come out feeling so refreshed and just ready. I really honestly feel like I can take over the world. I'm like, I can take over the world, because when I'm working out and I'm lifting weights, and sometimes there's like heavy weights, I'm like, I can't do this, like really? And then I do it. And it's like, wow, I did it. And that same energy is what translates into the other areas of your life. And it has been proven to really affect, your mental well-being. So physical activity doesn't have to be the workout, but it can be, dance. It can be walking. It can be running. It can be just any physical activity. And really something is better than nothing. The third thing that really helped, and this is if not for anything, if any of these 5 points you don't apply, this is the one that is super important and crucial to your healing process, which is a support group, which is the right environment. I can't stress enough how important this is. Now, when I was going through my divorce, I was in an environment where one, divorce is a sin, so no option there. And then two, where marriage kind of laid heavily on the woman and what she does, or the success of a marriage really laid heavily on the woman. And three was really the projection of people's experiences and things that they've witnessed on me. Now while I feel like these can be in any society, in any culture, I feel like even in that space, it's like there's no other option. Like if you don't go the way we're telling you to go, this is how your life is gonna go, right? And it was, oh my gosh, it was dark. It was suffocating. I felt small. I felt like, wow, this is the end of me. It really wasn't pretty. And sometimes I was like, you know what? Like I didn't want the noise. I'm like, I just want a hug. Can someone just hug me? Like I just want to feel something real. And so that was not helpful. And I was just looking for another 23-year-old that could feel what I was feeling. And so it is very crucial and very important. This is why I do what I do, because what I say is I give what I needed the most at the time where I needed it. And so what I did was I found myself in a different community, separated myself, and it was so peaceful. And I began to find hope again, honestly. And so this is very, very important. And you may ask, well, where do I find this? It starts on your phone, social media, following the right people that really motivate you, that are positive, that are inspirational. And it doesn't have to be something that's always somebody telling their story or words coming up to you. For example, I follow this woman, and she's a fitness guru and body goals. I love her. And she goes so hard. And one time she did post her story on just a little snippet of it, how she was a survivor of domestic abuse. And so now she's an advocate, domestic violence and abuse. And now she's an advocate for that. So what she does is she hosts events and teaches, physical defense through her workouts. And you see how she's merged it. And it's so motivational and inspirational. And so while most of her videos are not talking about her story and it's just workout, you just have a different level of appreciation and respect for it, because you know where it's coming from and how it really just goes together. And so when you see that, you're like, man, she's on the other side of her story. If she can do it, I can do it too. And that's one of the reasons why I personally just love to hear people's stories. It just gives a perspective to why they do what they do and how, and just a respect for how they keep on grinding. Environment, can also be, don't look far. That's why the legit community is here. Even if it's just me, I got you. No, but really, I I have a myriad of women, of brothers, of people that really held me when I was going through my divorce and have just supported me throughout, and they continue to. And so it is very crucial. I remember there was a time where I was telling a friend of mine that I can't do this is so hard, and this had nothing to even do with my divorce. It was just life in general. I'm like, I'm tired, whatever. And he was like, man, Bissy, I'm so happy you're going through this. And I'm like, what? But what it was he saw something inside of me and something that was happening that I didn't see, right? Where the Bible says that we glory in our sufferings. And so through our sufferings, there's perseverance. And through our perseverance, there's the building of character, which brings hope. And hope will never shame us because of God's love. And so you need these kind of people around you that can call the things outside of you that you don't even see yourself in the moment. And so if not anything at all, the right environment is super important. Now, the fourth thing, it kind of goes hand in hand, is restructuring. You want to restructure your life because really when we're with somebody or we were with somebody, we're in a certain type of routine or a bubble that sometimes we don't even realize. And so whether it has to do with text messages or talking to this person throughout the day, or when you turn a corner of the street, it reminds you of something or a place where you guys went to eat, or memories, or again, when you go back to the environment, social media, friends, certain things that are posting, like, your life kind of, it was intertwined with them. And so restructuring really has to do with creating a vision for your life and having things feed into that vision. And that's where your snack comes in. Proverbs 29 verse 18 says that for lack of vision, the people perish. And so restructuring is really having a vision for your life, creating a vision for your life, and really putting things and systems in place that feed that vision. I talk more about this in what I'm gonna say at the end of this video. And the fifth thing is be still. Just quiet the noise. There's so much noise in the world, on social media, in the news, in our environment, in the family, in the culture. There's so much noise, and it's harder to stop and be quiet than it is to just be in the noise. So it's something that we have to exercise. Now, I'm your basic Christian girl. I'm not somebody who, super, oh my gosh, I can hear God talking, or God is talking to me, or I heard him specifically say this. I've learned how to be sensitive to God's voice. And that's, oh my gosh, and that's why I talk about, the legit you, because when you're building this character and you see that everything that's happening, it can actually, it does work together for your good, where you learn so many things about you and about God. Oh my gosh, it's just so amazing. But yeah, I've learned to be sensitive to how God speaks to me. So, and it's very personal to everybody. And for example, Jay Shetty, he's a podcaster, he's a purpose coach, and he usually posts these little videos about life and really positive energy over there. And one of his videos, one I can recall, there were 3 people, but I can recall 2 stories. And the first is this woman was traveling, and her husband had decided to take care of the baby while she goes to do her thing. And her husband kept texting her about, like, where do I find this, what do I do? And the second person was a young girl who was traveling, and her mom just kept checking on her, like, where you at? Are you okay? And these 2 people were frustrated. So the woman was frustrated because, man, like, can't you just figure it out, And the girl was like, I'm grown, I can do this, like, leave me, let me be. And really, that's where their energy, and that's what they decided to see. However, the flip side of it is the fact that not everybody has a mom to be checking on them, and that is the truth. And so it's just such a blessing to have your mom really worried about you and just wants to make sure that you're okay. You know, some people also have moms and they're just not checking for that. They're like, you know, and then, you know, not everybody also has husbands that are willing to just let you go and do your thing while they take care of the baby. So just having a level of appreciation and gratitude for that. It's just one story, but two different ways. And so this is how God, hearing God's voice is the same way. It's just being sensitive to the nudges and the way God speaks, and that comes from knowing who God is and his character. And so, man, this is just so in depth, but just being still and just learning to quiet the noise and hear how God is moving you and making this work together for your good. And so I hope that this helps. This is a summary, literally, but it is so packed. And again, like I said, if you don't take anything at all, you know, wisdom is really knowledge that is applied. If you don't take anything at all, it is point number 3, finding yourself in the right environment. If you take a seed and you put it in a wall, you put it in a bathroom, nothing happens to the seed. It remains a seed for the rest of its life. But if you take that same seed and you put it in the right soil with the right light and the right amount of water, man, it grows into to be a tree with a bark, with roots, with its stem, with leaves. Some may be colorful. There is no stopping that seed and what it could be. And it's the same for you if you find yourself in the right space. So this may be all you needed. This may be you got exactly what you wanted from here. And so if you rock with me till the end, I would love for you to type in the comments, moving forward correct. So I know that your legit self is here and representing. And maybe you're just listening or watching because you know me, but it doesn't apply directly to you. Please share it with someone that you think that this may help, because really what we want to do is just really give value and help where we can. And so maybe this is all you needed, but maybe for some of you, you may want to go even deeper, more in depth into these 5 steps and more. I talk about that next, but until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Hey, so the special thing that I talked about at the beginning of this video is a program that I am curating for you. You are my priority. If you are right now going through a divorce or a breakup, you need community, you need support, you need a strategy to move the needle in your life forward correct. You need the tools to help you to heal from your breakup. You need the right people to communicate your feelings to. I do not take this lightly at all. And so you are my priority. Like I said, when I was going through my divorce, I was just looking for another 23-year-old that could feel what I feel right now. And so who is around you and who feeds into you is very crucial. And so you are my priority. The second person that this is for is, maybe it's been a while, maybe it hasn't, but you feel frustrated because you're not over your ex yet and you're still kind of wallowing in the pain. And this seeps into the third person, who is you who are dating or are in a relationship right now, and you find yourself comparing your ex or your previous relationship to the new people that you're meeting right now, or your partner right now. And that is not healthy. What it does is it disrupts you and it forms a barrier to allow you, that hinders you from actually enjoying a healthy relationship and an abundant one. In fact, J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, only published the first book, The Sorcerer's Stone, while she was diagnosed as clinically depressed, going through a divorce, broke near homeless. And in her own words, while her biggest fears had been realized, she was still alive with a beautiful daughter that she loved and that loved her back, a typewriter, and a big idea. She found a way to incorporate her story throughout the whole Harry Potter series. And she said that while if she had succeeded in anything else, she would not have found the determination to succeed in the one area where she truly belonged. And that's what you want, right? To be able to move forward and move forward correct. Now, I am taking only a limited number of people, One, because I want to make sure that I'm fully present and fully whole for the sisters that I'm serving. And two, because usually they say this is a safe space for you to be vulnerable, and tell your business. But I personally believe once it's more than two people, it's no longer a safe space. So I am being very intentional and very selective about the people that do go through this program at this point in time. And so I'm taking a very, very limited number of people. There are some people that have already expressed their interest, and so I'm really looking for a couple more. And so if you are interested, be sure to DM me on Instagram. I would link that below, or email info@thelegityou.com.